Hi,
That, oh, there we are. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Christine Welcher, and I am the director of the U.S., North America, academics and nonprofits. And with me today, I have my esteemed colleague, James.
Hi, everybody. It's a pleasure to have you all. My name is James Fernandez, and it's been exciting ride with QuestionPro. 4 years been working with QuestionPro, and I'm closely working with the university research and the nonprofit. And experience working with nonprofit has been really great as I come across to the organization which are doing a tremendous job in helping out people. And I bet the ride is right to meeting the organization goal is not that easy, but I appreciate you all doing such a lovely. We are happy to be a part of this journey, and it's a pleasure to have you all over here and giving us the opportunity to show you some tips and tricks of nonprofit license. So yeah, it's great to be here.
So should we kick it off then?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I think, can I do this? Nope. Maggie, I might need help sharing my screen or bringing it out. Okay, thank you. And we have Maggie with us in the background who's doing all the technical stuff for us. So just to get started, we're doing, it's going to be about an hour. We would love to have any questions. Just throw them in the chat. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, I don't know, YouTube. So yeah, just throw your questions in the chat and Maggie will give them to us. So to get started, once again, we have a free nonprofit license that's somewhat similar to our advanced license. So maybe if you're not a nonprofit and you're on the advanced license, this is also going to be kind of for you. We wanted to highlight some of the features that are on that license so you can get more out of it. And this is us again. So again, let us know in the comments where you're from. If you have questions, please go ahead and put those in the chat. And the topics for today will be logic flows, scoring abilities, customizing, using piping text and custom variables, and then reporting and taking your surveys mobile. So I guess I'm going to start with logic flows. Logic is just a really great way to customize your survey, to be able to ask a bunch of questions, but then maybe direct them based on how someone answers something. You can then skip to a different block of questions. So maybe if you're asking people if they like a certain thing, whether they say yes or no, you could then ask them follow-up questions based on that. So or you can ask questions about, are they a zombie and how to get away? I thought this was really cute. But today we're going to show basic scoring logic, and we're going to do a little bit with some piping text that isn't really logic, but it does kind of play in with the skip logic. So we have a lot of different options, dynamic text boxes based on like an answer. They can be a little box that pops out. And then they can fill that in with a better, like an explanation, for example. So you could say a yes or no question, and then yes or no, please explain your answer. And with that, like I said, we're going to go into scoring abilities. And so I will let James take it from here.
So we have scoring for you can have scorings for each and every questions and the answer options for it, and you can let's dive into it directly. I'll share my screen.
Maggie, can you let James share his screen?
Yes. Just give me a minute.
Maybe if I stop sharing, does that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope you all can see my screen.
No. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So I'll dive into the scoring over here. So I have the survey created with few questions, and if we go to logic over here, in the drop down you can see scoring, and you can like score each and every options over here. So I gave a scoring for the right option, like 5, and you can also branch it to the other question depending on the weightage. And yeah, so you can also save the scoring to one of the custom variable also. So I've saved it in custom one, so it can be pre-populated any other question, or it's easier for you to get the data in one of the variables. So like this, I've scored for each and every question over here. So let's take the survey and see how it goes.
I hope you get 100% on this, James.
I'm not sure about it. All right. Oh, I scored like 10 over here. So I pre-populated.
So, James, in
So yeah,
addition, oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah. In addition to that, like you can pre-populate the custom variable data into the question. So you just go to the setting of this question, and here it is written data pre-population. So I've just selected custom one. So I've saved all the scoring in custom one, so you can see the score in this particular question. Here it is. And at the end of the survey, you will see the score also. Yeah, that's about scoring. You were saying something, Christian?
Yeah, so I know that a lot of people do it for exams or quizzes. We have a lot of teachers that will do their exams in our program, but you've actually worked with a few nonprofits who have used it for scoring like experiences, or doing like, I think one you worked with did health evaluations and gave people a score that way, and so they had like a general score on different aspects of health at the end.
Yeah, so mostly like the non-profits, they do scoring also. So depending on the scoring, they given rewards also. Okay, so we have rewards section, like we can give rewards at the end of the survey. So if they meet the criteria, yeah,
Yeah.
reach that particular score, we can get the rewards also. So yeah, it helps in like quizzes or anything that
Yeah.
concerns scoring. Yeah.
Pretty much the imagination's your limit there on how you can use this. It, you can do scaling, so you do a scale and score everything, and so that at the end you can kind of see where people range on different aspects of whatever it is you want to test for, or how well maybe the impact that you're making on your whatever your project is, your community project or something. You can do the same survey over and over again and have that scoring on there, so you can kind of track it and see how much you've improved. Okay, so that's scoring, and I know we kind of went over this really quickly. James, do you just want to show them where the little question is at the top, where you can always find our help center?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So here at the question, you can find a help center where you just click it, and it will take you to our help center. And if you want to find some help files, or you're having a block somewhere, so you can just search for it and like get for the help. Yeah.
And I still use it pretty much every day because I forget things.
Yeah.
There's just so much in there that I forget.
because it's there. It's like so much in there, like to do. So yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much helpful.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one we're going to go to is piping text and custom variables. And James is going to give us a little preview on how to set up piping text. Again, this is a great way to just to take someone's answer and then put it into the next question so that it really looks like the survey has been customized for that person, which then helps them feel more engaged and you get better completion rates. So it all kind of helps in the long run.
Yeah, so you can use this particular, let's say there's a question and you want to use the selected option to the next question, the follow-up question you want to ask for them. So you can use piping text. It's really simple and widely used by the researchers. So let's kick it off. Like, go to logic over here. So in skip logic, you'll have this all this option and the piping text, or what piping text you want to show for that particular option. You just type it in and save the logic over here. So and the follow-up question where you want to show the piping text, you should have the custom tag over here. So this is a custom tag for piping text already put in here. So let's preview this survey and see. So if I select car, so next I should be able to see the car. What? Why do you prefer
Yeah,
car? Yeah.
nice. And it doesn't have to be the question right after it, but you do need to be able to, that question that you want to send that answer to needs to be following the original question that you're asking so that you can go ahead and choose it when you're, yeah, right there.
Yeah,
So it gives you an option of multiple different questions that you can choose to send that answer to.
that's correct.
Yeah. And something very similar to piping text is custom variables. And it uses the same little bit of code there, the $sign, squiggly line. And then in this case, it would be like custom variable one or custom one, and then a squiggly line. But there again, it can, here, I'm going to share my screen really quickly.
I'll stop sharing.
So, whoop, wrong way. So custom variables, like I said, it is, in this case, the custom variable is actually replaced by what the code would be. So in this case, it's a department, just so you can keep track a little bit better instead of having custom one and trying to remember what custom one is. But in this case, for this question, this bit of code is going to be replaced by whatever the sales or whatever the department is for this one. So this is your list when you upload it. If you're going to be sending it out by email or even texting, you'll upload a list of people that you want to take your survey. And this is where you can add in extra variables that can then be put into your survey questions as you go along. And that just, again, it kind of just helps to customize it a little bit more, make it more relevant to the end user. And then, you know, they're a little bit more, everybody likes to answer questions about themselves. So it kind of helps. And as James was kind of talking about before, we have this data pre-population. So that's just another way also to kind of bring in information, have part of the answers filled out already for people so they don't have to spend as much time taking it. I don't know, James, do you have any other tips about the pre-populate data?
So let's say like we have already saved some important data of the respondent and we want to show it in the survey. So that's where when we use the pre-population data. All right. And uh, in regards to custom variable, it also helps in like when you are filtering the data. It's really very simple to filter the data and get the reports as you wish.
Yeah, and that's a great segue because here we are at reports. Good job, James. So one of the best things I think about QuestionPro is that, you go out, you create the survey, you spend all this time making sure that people are taking it and you're getting it to the right people. And then you get it back and it's like, okay, now what do you do with it? Because not everybody has a degree in statistics or analysis or something like that. But QuestionPro makes it super easy to understand. I think some of the favorites for people are, of course, the word clouds. I don't think people give enough credit to qualitative analysis. I don't know. How do you feel about James? I think most people are like numbers, 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 but the qualitative analysis and being able to get those nuances and let people do open-ended questions, I don't know. I find it really interesting what they say.
Yeah, it's pretty good, and Question Pro gives us the opportunity to exploit the data, like the text analysis in different ways, like the word cloud and the sentiment analysis if you need. So yeah, it's pretty good if you have an open-ended question and you want to like get genuine responses, what the people are saying about it. So yeah, it's pretty much there and easy accessible.
And of course, we have tons of quantitative analysis tools and reports that you can do. Um, And if maybe this talk of all this research is a little overwhelming for you, we also have a research department. They can do the whole thing for you. You can meet with them and discuss what you want to do, like what questions you're trying to answer, and they can help you craft everything from your survey to who to send it out to, and then help you with the analysis at the end. Or they can help you with just parts of it. Maybe you feel comfortable doing the first part, getting it sent out, but then you're not quite sure how to handle the analytics at the end. James and myself would be happy to help you, but we also have a research department that can, that's their job. They are researchers, and they know all the good tricks and the good ways to slice and dice the data to get the answers that you're looking for. One other thing that we have, like James said, you can do a lot with data filters. So you can filter your data by different variables. You can filter it by locations. And so that's just a good way to be able to compare two different things. For example, here they have a gender filter on here, so you can kind of see how they responded, how the different genders responded. But we also have something called comparison reports, which it's not in the nonprofit version, but it is in our research edition. And I guess, James, do you have, basically you can take two different reports that you've taken at like different surveys that you've taken at different times, and you can compare how things are going over a time span. Or maybe you send out one survey to a certain population and another survey to a different population, and you want to see how they answer differently, like where the differences are between the two populations. That's a really useful feature.
This feature, basically, we have it in research license, not there in non-profit. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty useful feature when you do surveys like in different region, like, and you want to compare the surveys. Yes, it's a good feature to have.
Yeah. And just so you all know, yes, the research you do have to pay for, but we have really great rates for nonprofits. So if you are thinking about getting a little bit more serious with your data collection or your tracking information, let us know and we can work with you on that. So this is a big one, going mobile. If you are not thinking about how people are using smartphones when you're designing your surveys or you're designing anything, your communications, you're really missing out. So this little graph is technology adoption in the United States. So these are percentages down here and how many years it took 25% of the population to adopt it. And so it's like, I don't even know, 5 years for 25% of the population to adopt smartphones. And with that, I have some statistic here. In 2020, 61% of the data and web traffic in the United States was driven by mobile devices, and that was up from 57% just the year before in 2019. And as a comparison, personal computers and desktops are ranking at about 35% in 2020. So mobile devices are far and away growing a lot faster than personal computers. And James, you've had a little experience with like designing for mobile and using that. Do you have any tips for people or things they should think about?
So mostly like I'm pretty sure like mostly all the nonprofits that we have, like they are not aware of they have this kind of feature, like they can get the data offline. But yeah, it's really cool feature to have, that you can, if you're going to a field survey and there is no internet connection, yeah, having mobile device, offline device is really very useful. I had one of my client did a field survey, and he was really happy with that, because the place where he was taking uh, like collecting the data was having no connection, and it was so overwhelming for him, like he was like amazing, like
Yeah. The
it's a good
technology.
technology to have. And yeah.
Yeah. And so, of course, all of our surveys are optimized to handle mobile devices. So it keeps the fonts a little bit larger. It keeps the buttons easier to click and to be able to see. And it also just makes the transition to mobile, it kind of cuts down the data that's needed on the back end, so that when people are on mobile devices, it's not using up all their data when they're taking your surveys. So one, they can take surveys on mobile devices, but then also you can use your mobile device, like James was saying, either while you're out doing door-to-door canvassing, which I'm not sure if people do that now post-COVID, but it used to be a thing. Or if you're at like a fair, if you have a booth at a fair or community event, trade shows, you can set up little kiosks with just your tablet and collect a ton of data. You don't need to have Wi-Fi. And then at the end of the day, you just go and sync it back to your account, and you have all that data collected. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And you're able to do it in multiple languages. So I'm not sure if you can quite see it, but this is in Japanese on here. So yeah, you can even have a question at the beginning of what language do they want to take it in. If your community has multiple speakers, I know many communities in the US have many different languages that they speak and are pretty prevalent. So you could have it in Spanish, French, English, Tagalog, whatever. So we're going to go into a little bit of a bonus feature here. A lot of people want to be able to do anonymous data collecting. They want to be able to protect people's privacy so that the people feel free to answer the questions, honestly and openly. And so we have this wonderful feature that you can click on it. And then if you can see down here in the bottom, there's a little footnote throughout your whole survey that just kind of reassures people that that this has been turned on. And so anytime that they answer these questions, they can freely and openly answer the questions, and their data is not going to be able to be traced back to them. Their answers will not be traced back to them. Do you know, James, do many people know about this, or do they use it?
So I just came across last week one nonprofit asking for a respondent RA, but this particular feature is not available in research. But we, upon the request, like if it's very necessary for them to enable this feature, we do it for them, like from the backend. So you just need to send us a request. to enable this feature, and we'll do that for you.
Great. Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of things that we can help you with too on the back end. So if you're working in your survey and you don't quite know where to go for things, or are a little unsure how to get the questions to look like you had envisioned them looking, reach out to James, myself. Akshay is another one on our team, and we're happy to kind of walk you through things or show you how to do it. And if you don't have that feature, we're pretty it's a challenge, but sometimes we can find workarounds too. And so the guys are great. They're with all the different ways that you can do certain things to be able to get the answers that you want, even if you don't have the feature that you think you need. So that just kind of brings us into the, I guess, the pitch for our nonprofit license. And again, if you're a nonprofit and you can prove that to us, you get a free license, which if you're looking on our website, it's pretty much like the advanced edition. So it's kind of a middle of the road. It does give you quite a few features. I don't know, James, do you have any tips on that? Or
Yeah,
Ellie?
if you just want to have a non-profit license, you just have to do two things basically. Just help us with the 501c3 certificate and attribution, QuestionPro attribution to your homepage. That's about it, and you will have access to a non-profit license for a whole year. So this is like recurring every year. Like you don't have to like renew it or call for renewal. It will renew it automatically every year.
And of
But
course, we would
just to
like
make
it that you would, give us a check in with us every so often and let us know how it's going. But yeah, it's pretty
yeah,
easy.
and if there is like a research, a study that you're doing in depth, like just reach out to us, and if there is some features that are not available in your license, just reach out to us and let's see what we can uh, do to help you out with that.
Yeah, yeah.
This
So I don't know, Maggie, do we have any questions that are coming in? I don't see anything in the screen that I have. Guess maybe not. So just a little bit about us. We were founded in Seattle, and now we are literally everywhere. We're like all over the world. We've opened up offices, San Francisco, Toronto. This is just actually where we have data centers. So we have offices, even more offices than that. But I know a lot of people are concerned about having their data stored locally. And so pretty much wherever you are, we have something fairly close. I think we might even have something in Northern Africa now. I'm not sure.
we have it in Africa. We are coming up in Korea, Japan also.
Yes, that's right. Japan. And so because we are all over the world, there's somebody that's awake and working pretty much all the time. So another great thing about working with us is that there's someone live 24/7, all the time, that can answer your questions if you're stuck. And like James showed you, there's a little question mark at the top of your screen. You can get to our help center from there, but you can also get to the live chat. And so someone's there helping you with whatever your questions are, or if they can't answer it, they can get in touch with one of the team members that can. So I guess we're at the Q&A right now. If anybody has any questions for us.
It was pretty fast.
Yeah, it was. And I guess I just want to also point out that next month we are doing one of these as well. James and I will be back on June 23rd, again, same time. So it's 11 a.m. Central Time. And this one the theme will be how to increase engagement. So we'll be talking about features within QuestionPro that just kind of keep people more engaged, sliders, card sorting, things that they can do so that they don't get bored, so they don't get survey fatigue, and they actually complete the survey that you're hoping that they complete.
Yeah, creating survey can be like very exciting, like the type of questions we have, and for the survey taker also, it's like quite exciting when they take that particular uh, answer those particular questions. Yeah, it would be really exciting to have you all like over there.
And in the meantime, think of questions and go ahead and send them on out to us, because we love answering questions and not just talking about what we think you want to know. We'd love to know what you would like to know. So I guess with that, I have a little bit of a trivia. Let's see. One of the things that is available with all of our licenses for free is something called live polls. And you can do that as a poll to get people's opinions, but you can also put in a right or wrong answer on there. So you can make it like a trivia game for whoever. So I've made up a little trivia game here for nonprofits, and I'm just going to get this started really quickly. And then I will share my screen. So if anyone is out there, hopefully someone out there wants to join, we'll do a little demo of what this live polls can do. So you go to QuestionPro.io, and when you get there, it will ask for a 4-digit code, and the 4-digit code is 8170. And we'll see if anybody out there is going to join. Yay! We have a few people joining.
Travis.
Thanks, Travis and Maggie. Okay. Oh. All right. Oh. Canada representing. Nice. So again, it's QuestionPro.io if anyone wants to enter, and then the 4-digit code is 8170. Okay, and people can kind of join as they come along too. So if you decided not to join because you're shy and you realize how much fun it would be, you can join in even after we start the quiz. So let me start with the first question here. And this is all about nonprofits. So how much money did the nonprofit sector contribute to the U.S. economy last year? And the hint is it's about 5% of the U.S. GDP. So was it 1 million, 3 billion, 1.5 trillion, or 8.9 billion? We have one more person to answer. All right. 1.5 trillion. That's crazy. Okay, so the next one. What state, sorry, a lot of these are for the US. What state has the most nonprofits per capita? It has about one for every 160 people that are in the state. And as you're answering this, you might notice once you answer, you'll have a little thing pop up. If you get it right, it's 50 points to get it right. And then you can get up to 50 points depending on how fast you answer. So we've kind of gamified this a little bit to make it the quickest one to respond gets a little bit more points. Only one person got it right. Yeah, it was Vermont. Poor Wisconsin. we actually Madison used to have the most nonprofits per capita for a city, but when I was doing the answers for this trivia, I saw that Trenton, New Jersey just passed us up. So I'm whatever. I didn't put that question in there now because I'm a sore loser. Okay, which country has the highest percentage of volunteer participation? Is it New Zealand, Canada, the United States, or Denmark? Got one more person thinking about it. Okay, yeah, I know. I was surprised too. It is actually the
It is
United
Denmark.
States. I know. You always hear about the Scandinavians, but surprisingly, we do have a lot of volunteers in the U.S. Okay, 30% of annual giving occurs in which month? And if anyone has ever worked for a nonprofit at all, this is going to be an easy question for you. And I think I just let my Midwestern accent slip with the yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yes, December. It's all those people trying to get in their tax breaks at the very last minute when they realize that they haven't put enough money away and are going to get taxed. So, okay, what percentage of public charities have annual revenues of under $99,000? Is it 89%, 53%, 94%, or 76%? And, you know, everybody hears about the nonprofits that are like the Red Cross and things like that, that have all these, you know, huge budgets. But the truth is, yeah, 76%. That's a, you know, 3/4 of the nonprofits out there have pretty small budgets. So that's, again, why we need to support them any way we can, and really, you know, help you work smarter, not harder with the money that you do have. What is the largest nonprofit in the world? Is it the Red Cross, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Catholic Charities, or Goodwill Industries International? A couple more coming in. Okay. It is actually the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Now, that's the largest, I'm guessing, like staff and everything, because I do have another question. Well, what state ranks #1 in volunteer rates among the country's 10 largest states? So this is not a per capita question. Is it California, New York, Illinois, or Florida? Got one more coming in. Yep. Yeah, all right, there we go. Okay, it's Illinois. Who knew, right? I thought it was going to be California myself, but yep, Illinois. Good job, Carol. You're keeping right up there on the top. Okay, which nonprofit has the largest endowment? Is it the Lilly Endowment? Is it the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation? Is it the MasterCard Foundation? Or is it Novo Nordisk out of Denmark? And you can see you can also add graphics into this if you wanted. So you can do pictures instead of words if you're working with kids or something. And it's actually Novo Nordisk. So Bill and Melinda Gates must have like the biggest reach or like programs or something like that, but Novo Nordisk has the largest endowment. And just a little shout out to them. If you don't know who they are, you should really check it out. It's a Danish corporation. They work in pharmaceuticals, but they are ranked like the best place to work constantly for international rankings all the time. And they take part of their profits every year, and instead of like giving people bonuses and stuff like that, they actually put it into this foundation. So they're able to really give back, and they do a lot with environment and sustainability. So that's my push for Novo Nordisk. And then, so when you get done at the end, if you've done this for like a lecture that you're giving or a classroom if you're a teacher or something like that, you get these results at the end. So you can see how people did. You can see the top 3 answers, like how fast they answered. And all of this will stay in the software, will stay in the program well, I guess, I don't know, pretty much forever, James, I guess, until you want to delete it. So it's a good way to kind of track things too. And you can go back to your questions, or you can go to the profile questions. You can ask people some questions as they get started if you want to know a little bit more about your audience. I'm going to stop sharing. So I guess, I don't know, James, do you have any parting words of wisdom for us?
Nothing really. I was just expecting communicating with nonprofit users, like basically, and share some answer questions that they have. But
Yeah.
basically, yeah, it was a great session that we had, and hope it is useful for the people who join in with us.
Yeah, I'm looking, I guess, so far, and no one has any questions. So people either it's too early for them to, be thinking about things, or they're just so overwhelmed. So maybe we'll take it at that. But again, if you have any questions about pretty much anything that we covered today, let me just put up our the information to contact James and I. Just 1 second. I actually closed it down. Sorry. Okay, here it is. So feel free to reach out to either of us. And again, we have a whole team of people working with us. So if we can't answer your question, or we can't figure out how to do it, we can always ask people. I know, James, you and Akshay have had some doozies of projects that you've been helping people with. Oh gosh, there was the one where they wanted to do the surveys with the pictures. It was like, what was it? 7 different locations, and then there were like 5 or 6 different pictures in each location, and they wanted randomized. And oh my goodness, you guys worked on that forever, it seemed like.
Yeah, we had to customize it a lot, and there was some looping within the survey also. So yeah, it was pretty great working with that, also. And at the end, they had the data that they needed. That's most important for them. So
Yeah.
yeah, we do handle the surveys which needs in-depth features, different features also. So yeah, please do reach out to us if you have any requirement within data collections. Yeah, we would be really happy to help you out.
Yeah. And we do some just like basic trainings once in a while. We have a lot of recorded trainings on our website, and a couple self-paced ones. We actually have a certification program too that it's just kind of self-paced, and it will help you go through all of our different features and learn a little bit more about what's included in a QuestionPro license. So if you're interested in anything like that, give us hit us up with an email. Check us out on LinkedIn, and we'd be happy to help you. I mean, basically, our goal is to help our users get the most out of this, so that it's beneficial for them. So anything we can do, that's what we want to help you get the most out of your license, and be able to collect that data so that you can make those smart decisions and about your future, or if you're applying for grants. I know that's a huge thing for nonprofits, and a lot of times you have to be able to track your impact. We can help you with all of that. So I guess with that, James, I guess we'll say goodbye then.
Yep.
Okay, everyone, thanks so much for joining us today. And again, June 23rd, same time, will be how to increase engagement with your end users, your target audience. So I hope to see you then. Bye, everybody.
Yep.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you everyone.